Oh my gosh, our text line is exploding. Why? Because I brought up my close personal friend Kellen Moore to the program, Prater. We asked if there was a Kellen Moore Elementary School built in Boise, what would the mascot be named? Text us, 208-424-9300. We're going to save this for later on in the program. I have texted Kellen, okay? He has not texted me back yet. I simply said, would you support a new Kellen Moore Elementary School in Boise, and what should the mascot be named? So let's see if Kellen texts us back. I imagine he's in the whatever office he's in, looking at film, looking at tape. They're probably off the field.
Maybe just barely, because they've been showing video for the last couple of hours.
It's 4 o'clock there. Maybe they're still on the field, but we need to catch him when he's, chowing down some chicken wings or something, and he gets a little chuckle out of it, and then he responds. But I did shoot him that text. I can promise you that. And Kellen Moore Elementary. Oh, yeah, the waiting list, I can see it right now.
Yeah, we'll go over some of those names at 5:15, and I'm having a crazy college football flashback. 5:15, Coach Pete and Kellen Moore. That's our segment, right?
Yeah.
We're doing a Coach Pete thing at 5:15 and a Kellen Moore thing at 5:15, right?
This Kellen Moore wasn't supposed to be at 5:15, but it is now with Coach Chris Peterson. Our question to you is, honestly, September 2nd, Washington, Boise State. Who do you think Chris Peterson is rooting for? He will never say, and you know it, but deep down, you always kind of root for somebody you'd think. Who do you think Chris Peterson is rooting for? Until then, Prater, today we love this. The annual Feldman's Freak List. Bruce Feldman, a top flight sports writer, has covered college football as well as anybody for a long time.
Yep.
And he comes out with his annual Feldman's Freaks. A couple of years ago, our boy Tanner Connor was on there at Idaho State, and we're hoping there was a Boise State guy on there. We'll get to that. But Prater, who's number one?
I'm going to give you number one, not because of who it is, but because of what it may represent. And then we'll get into the local stuff, including maybe the Boise State guy, the Big Sky guy, the Mountain West guy. Number one on Bruce Feldman's list. And he says he's been doing this for 2 decades, his freak list. And this is the first time he's ever put a true freshman number one. And it's Nichols, and it's spelled Nyckoles. I think that's okay. Nichols Harbor. He's a wide receiver for South Carolina. And here's why I'm bringing this up.
He's number one?
Because of his Olympic sprinter speed. He ran the 110.22. Gallon Bear 10.15.
Whoa!
This kid from South Carolina ran the 226.3. Gallon Bear 20.47.
Oh!
Gallon Bear smoked him in both. But here's the issue. Here's the deal. Think of Gallon Bear and how much we love him and how much he's going to get us excited in a couple of years. Faster than this dude. Gallon Bear checks in at 6'2", 195.
What's this kid? Don't tell me like 5'10".
6'5", 250.
Oh, no wonder.
A wide receiver.
That's why he's on Phil. That's why he's the number one freak in the country. So he is basically as fast as Gatlin Bear.
This video.
But he's packing 6'5", 250.
It's like Shaquille O'Neal running against a bunch of junior high kids.
I'm looking at it.
And he beats them by 20 yards.
That dude is huge. I love Feldman's Freaks, man.
So in 2 years, I fully expect to see Gallon Bear on this list.
And top 100? Yeah.
And by the way, number 2 is your guy that you totally disrespected earlier in the show by saying he's going to go next year 3rd or 4th in the NFL draft. How about 1st or 2nd? Marvin Harrison.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is number 2 on his list.
Yes.
Well, the thing is I feel that the top 2 teams next year, they're going to need quarterback. So we're going to see Caleb Williams and Drake May. So anyway, I got Marvin Harrison Jr. going 3rd or 4th.
And a BYU offensive lineman is number 3.
What?
And the first of 3 Ducks in the top 51. That's kind of crazy. The Ducks have 3 in the top 51, including Jordan Birch, their defensive lineman. That's kind of your top 4 right there.
Sometimes we spend too many damn hard-working man hours trying to prep this show.
You mean goofing around?
No, I'm seriously trying to give our audience the greatest show it's ever had. But sometimes all we really need to do is go in there and say, what would Kellen Moore Elementary School look like? And what would the mascot be? Because the texts just keep coming in. That'll be in a couple minutes. We'll read them. But until then, back to Feldman's Freaks, Prater.
The highest Mountain West player on here, and I have to admit, Ballgame, I haven't heard of this guy. Never heard of him. Wyoming cornerback, Colby Taylor.
Okay, I've heard of him.
Never heard of him. He made his first career start in their bowl game last year, and he's a track guy. 6'4", 190, broad jumps this, vertical jumps that. Unbelievable numbers.
I've never heard of him either.
Yeah, I've never heard of this dude. So he's a young kid, only started one game in his entire life, and he's one of the top group of 5 freaks cornerbacks here for Bruce Feldman. So Colby Taylor, a Wyoming cornerback, comes in at number 22. Keep an eye on that dude. Keep an eye on that dude.
Any Big Sky guys?
Yeah, there is a couple of Big Sky guys. There's Tommy, is it Mallet? Tommy, I should know.
Mallet, yep, correct.
I should know him because he's got a local NIL connection with a local organization here in Boise that you're going to hear more of moving down the road in the future. But he comes in, Montana State's quarterback comes in at number 70, 6% body fat, 4.0 in engineering, a 39-inch vertical jump, and he runs the 40 and 4.3. So, and he's a quarterback, a Big Sky quarterback. So that's a pretty cool deal there. And also an offensive tackle out of Montana, 98th, Chris Walker checks in as 98th. So Montana and Montana State are both represented.
Wow. So how many total Mountain West players are there?
2.
And there's 2.
And I've given you
Big
one already.
Sky players. You've given us one. Okay. Drum roll, John Patrick. This is him looking for the hotkey. Sorry I set you up like this.
By the way, the Washington wide receiver, Rome Odunze.
Yeah.
He's the only, out of all that great talent on Washington's football team, he is the only one that makes it. He checks in at number 57. Rome Odunze, the stud wide receiver. One of 2 stud wide receivers for the University of Washington.
Okay.
TG10.
He made it.
Talon Green.
He made it.
The 88th college football freak. Bruce Feldman loves himself a little TG10 ball game.
Where's he at?
Number 88. He checks in at number 88.
Talon Green made the Feldman freak list. That's badass.
He didn't have a ton of information here, so I think he's just going on all the things that wowed us. The Broncos get cranked up last year after he took over as a starting quarterback in week 5. Threw for more than 2,000 yards. He throws out a bunch of stats, responsible for 24 touchdowns, went on to earn Frisco Bowl offensive MVPs. He's 6'6", 230, but he runs 20. He can hit 23 miles an hour on the GPS timing system. And in high school, he was a 43-foot, 5-inch triple jumper. We know he was a state champion triple jumper. We know he's fast. That's all the information that he really has on him.
Okay.
So I think he's kind of, we know Talon Green is an athletic freak.
That's cool to be on.
It's a cool list to be on.
That means what we see every day, the physicality of Talon Green, like there's hardly any of that in America. What we're seeing at practice every day, Forrest, is something that no one else really. I'd like to see how many quarterbacks are even on that list. Think about that. If you just dissect it into a certain position, and then all of a sudden Talon Green becomes one of, I don't know, X quarterbacks on the Feldman freak list. By the way, this is on The Athletic. Shout out to those guys. They do a really good job at The Athletic. They have some of the best articles out there. You have to pay for it, but it's not much money. And anyway, that's the Feldman freak list. Do you know how many quarterbacks are on there? Is that yeah.
I'm counting. I think it's only 4.
So 4?
I think it's 4. Yeah. I mean, it's the Michigan quarterback, checks in at 50. Then we go to
McNamara, whatever the hell his name is.
I think he was the backup, actually, just kind of a freak. That the Montana State kid, Talon Green, and the USF quarterback. So there's just 3. There's 4 quarterbacks.
Talon Green is one of 4 quarterbacks on Feldman's 100 biggest freaks of college football. Yeah, that's really cool. I wonder if he knows yet. You think Andy or the team or anything, they put this up in the team room? Wonder if he knows.
Somebody probably told
somebody
him.
Tweet him and tell him. We have Kellen Moore Elementary School, and who is Chris Peterson secretly rooting for? with the Washington Huskies and the Boise State Broncos on September 2nd. Bush Hamden has an opinion. He gave it to us yesterday, and we got a lot of texts to read coming up, too. We appreciate our video segment every day, brought to you by the Dollar Loan Center. Look, they fund loans, and they've been doing it for over 25 years at don'tbebroke.com. 16 locations will soon be here in Idaho, so you can apply online for up to $5,000 at don'tbebroke.com for a limited time. Your first loan is free. Prater in the Ballgame, Idaho Sports. KTIK, the ticket.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Studios, this is Ticket Traffic.